seems like he has settled on Big Daddy towards the bottom side, and there it is.
Yeah, so going for the Nautilus, my one concern about the Nautilus
Lane comes cause. Let's see whether this Xin Zhao can make this dive work. This could be dangerous. Let's see how Gen.G are going to handle it. There is the start onto Dura. The Shattering Strike's fantastic though, as Peter is definitely dead. First blood goes over to Gen.G, and Doctorm even almost dying to that.
Yeah, they want to dive Keen here.
Well, a Gwen could be a little bit more tricky to take down. Let's see whether it is going to work here as Peter gets himself the shield. Cuz is the one that starts tanking first. Is perfect. Actually picks up the aggro. Drops it. It's Doctorm that picks up another one. But Keen is very healthy underneath this turret and says, you're going to need to bring 5.
Yeah, the level
Gwen gets a free way to the mid game. Is pretty scary. Let's have a look at Keen and how he navigates this one. The flash out and the fact that KT just couldn't tank this turret.
Yeah, Perfect taking aggro initially, but the damage ramped up so quickly, and he flashed to move the Shroud to not come out again, but I'm not sure he can.
That's the problematic part. He is going to be waiting underneath this turret. There's the ulti, bounces to the other side, but it's a mini taunt and a very dead Aurora. Yeah, there was no way he was getting out of that one.
Yeah, I think the silver lining is that Dura got the kill. I think that is the outcome of that situation. Doctorm will get some play gold of his own, but really not as much in comparison.
The gap there is Peter.
That's a difficult choke to approach from if Dura wants to make something happen.
Well, Peter just not going to be able to help take this Rift Herald, but can they find themselves a fight? That's the question. Good vision is here, but Dura is just going to get exploded, but able to flash himself out. The double knockup comes through as Galio makes his way in. Crescent Guard to try and keep Cuz alive as he flashes away. That's a lot of damage here, but it's mainly onto a clone, as now we're just driving Shelly through Peter, who does manage to buffer a pretty nice dredge line, but meanwhile, on the other side of the fight, the Winds of War devastating KT, and lots of people taking lots of damage, but no one dying except that turret.
That was such a creep, but when Keen arrives, KT are not interested, want to back away. The ult from the Aurora does slow things down, but they're not good pickups, I would say.
I'd say it's a few things that are kind of working out here, as now KT might find themselves in an awkward position. Canyon still has that Warrior Trickster available as the teleport brings Chovy in just as Punch connects beautifully, but KT have reformed the Phalanx and Keen has to flash away. Cuz is just booking it towards the enemy team. He's on the hunt, wasn't even there. He was just running real fast. Hook gonna connect onto a clone here as Peter putting the pressure onto Canyon as BDD lying in wait, throws down Tibbers but misses. A little bit unfortunate, opportunistic bear placement.
Going down, the effort is there though. Gen.G now looking for this red buff, they might have found Cuz.
They definitely did. There's the Cyclone. Killer Instinct comes in as Cuz able to cross on over to the red buff. The flash comes forward and Cuz will be taken out. But the max range hook comes in from Peter. Finds the triple knockup as well. Still, Doctorm doesn't quite have the damage as Perfect is coming down. And there is the kill. It's unfortunately Peter that locks it down. Then the rest of them as Perfect says, nope, we ain't out of this one yet.
So much value there from Doctorm. Honestly, it could have been even worse.
This could swing the gold completely back.
100%. And this is, you know, Doctorm gets...
Perfect. Gets word that there might be some bad guys on their way. And Chovy wants to defend this turret, but I don't think he's going to be able to do so. And I don't think Perfect can defend this one either. So that will go down. A 1-for-1 trade, but inner worth more than the outer. And KT kind of caught napping here.
Go for the Atachan.
That might be the option that they're going to look at here, as Winds of War going wide, Shattering Strike not finding the mark, as KT have started off this Dragon. Perfect on a great flank angle here at the same time as the rest of Gen.G all just grouped up. There's the flash in from Canyon, finds the Cyclone, but out goes BDD. The Drake still amongst it, Keen getting down there as well. Hasn't quite pressed the Gwen's immune button, as Peter just takes a lot of his health bar, but not too much more, as there's a Magnus Storm to come in. The heroic entrance comes down as well. It's Perfect that locks down the Dragon, but can they stay alive in this fight, as Cuz is looking for Keen, and he does manage to take him out. Doctorm still pretty high on the health bar, but it's Peter that's going to be taken out first, followed immediately by Canyon, as now Perfect dives into stealth. The flash out there from Ruler, but they are now on the wrong side of the rift, and Gen.G in a really awkward position. The Chovy finds the big taunt. This is the Chovy position, but still, he is going down so incredibly low, and not this time Chovy. This time it's BDD having that last laugh, and KT will crush them.
Gen.G never find a big engage. So many tools down, but he's able to trade with Ruler, and that means they can clean up the fight.
I really loved how BDD played that as well.
And apparently they need to stop Baron.
Well, that is exactly what they're going to do, as Peter does find a hook here onto Dura. Let's see whether they do turn, as Canyon and Ruler are sticking on this Baron for quite some time. Keen on a flank angle. There's the Magnustorm from Dura that brings him in. Ruler with the killer instinct, but he immediately just gets ulted by everyone. Still, the Sivir is going to go down, and Gen.G find their mark. Perfect is now in so much trouble as Cuz trying to deal with Keen. The flash out from Perfect is exactly that, though, and he takes down the Gwen. Still, BDD cannot stand up to Chovy, who seems immune to taking damage in that particular matchup, and it's messy. He's going to be doing anything about that. Next Drake going to be up in 2 seconds time, and that is likely what KT going to fight for next. That's okay. Instead, it's Gen.G that starts off the fight. Some needlework, but Peter still pretty healthy. Chovy making his way in. The Winds of War come down. There is Duro with the Magnustorm on the only one is BDD. Finds the Black Sword. Ruler is executed! And the Between Worlds is gorgeous here for Pip. Perfect as well. Still the 3-man taunt. And Chovy just showing that it's real difficult to kill this Galio. But kill him they will, as KT look to ace them again. Chovy's still going to try and get out of here, but Perfect should be able to tidy this one up. And KT, they can take themselves Soul Point, and they
can capable of finishing him off. And KT clutch another fight. They're starting up the Baron again.
They have so much vision of this area. I mean, KT just have no idea what's going on. Still, they are going to group up, move in. And Keen looking for that flank angle one more time. They dive in. The Magnustorm's fantastic, as here's the Wombo combo out of Gen.G. And the Sivir goes down first. Ruler will soon to follow, though, as Canyon's also dead. They've taken out the Rel at the same time, and the KT War Machine will not be stopped here today. Chovy just has to watch as they all destroy his teammates, and KT can just take a Baron.
They managed to get the Sivir, but they can't deal with the problems afterwards. Perfect.
8, 1, and 10.
He is taking over this game. What a performance from a player we've seen struggle on KT, up against Keen as well. Demolishing Gen.G right now on this pick.
As Peter just happy to suicide to the Baron. He's like, look, guys, you don't deserve to take damage. You're playing so well. I will. But he almost dies to the Baron. Doesn't actually do so. It's Cuz in this pit by himself. And we'll see whether he waits the couple of seconds to give this over to... No, he didn't. He gave it to KT. And should be able to extend this. It's now ticking towards 1,000 gold as far as this Rebel Baron power play. And still 2 minutes on the clock. Docdom now moving into this mid lane. Will be able to take down this inner turret. That'll be the first. Slightly uncomfortable position. Still able to just be tricksy. Gets out of the way of the Gwen. Now the inner turret is going to fall as Duro in so much trouble. Look at Peter. He is walking with such authority right now for KT. They just can't do anything about it, and it's such a problem because most of the time an Aurora cannot stand by herself and fend off a 1v1 situation, right? Like, it's just not... BDD is off on a flank angle.
Oh no. Canyon?
And Canyon, yeah, not going to be able to use that Warrior Trickster, get himself out of the way, but won't have a flank angle into this pit. BDD spotting him out perfectly here. Does have flash available as well, as he is charging this stun. He will have it up. As now Keen, Mega Cones to get on over towards Perfect and Peter. The needlework has come on through there as there's the interrupt onto Chovy. I don't know whether he's exactly the target that they're looking for as Keen goes golden right in the middle of the fight. The Magnustorm, he's onto everyone, and now Ruler has a huge shield as he gets into the back line. They've wiped out BDD. The flash out from Perfect, he's not offering the damage anymore. And KT! Oh, it was looking so good until it wasn't.
After all that, Gen.G finally get that Perfect engage. The AoE comes in, and I think they're just looking to end the game. Perfect, long death timers and his teammates. I think it might not be enough. There's just one minion wave coming in now, but there's another coming in soon. I think they can do it. I think they can end.
Oh God, we'll see whether Perfect can hold this off. But like you say, it's going to be such a difficulty. He's on the broomstick, looking to deal with the minions. Does a decent job at that. And there are super creeps as well, but here is another minion wave like you're talking about, and these structures do not last. And out of the jaws of defeat, Gen.G say no. You're going to have to try...
At playing into squishies now, with how much damage he got in his most recent buff, do you see Duro go for the Bard, which isn't a traditional...
Let's go, Chovy down pretty low on health, but yeah, BDD doesn't have a lot of mana. Here's the magical journey from this Bard. Look at that cosmic binding.
Okay, nice typical.
Just, oh, okay. That's the response.
Yeah, to be there and assist.
Well, both supports making their way back to this mid lane once again. As BDD with full control of the waves. Zenithblade does bring them in. Seismic Shove pushes the Bard back. And right as we're singing his praises, things start to go wrong with the Dawning Shadow, trying to keep him alive, and it will work. As Duro able to fight another day, while Canyon is taking this dragon, and Kane is grabbing plates on the bottom side. Just feels like Gen.G have more players on the Rift right now.
Yep, getting a lot done there, able to mitigate that play, able to get the plate, able to get a dragon, everything going well for Gen.G. We do see KT move and look for the grubs though. And in fairness, I think if they get triple grubs here, they're pretty happy overall.
Yeah, honestly, grubs very... so we can't really blame him for
I want it to be an Infernal, I really do.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, that would be pretty peak. All right, Ghoulie Wall goes down. That's going to block Duro. And cease and desist. And I think Perfect is going to acquiesce. And where have we seen this play before? Yes, it was last game.
I don't think they needed the Rise ult, but, you know, I appreciate that they're fully committed to make sure... in a smash, but now Doctor gets some alone time on the tower with those grubs as well. I don't think he can take the tower right now, but it's going to be pretty close, honestly, if you can get another passive proc in.
Yeah. Does get that short fuse, but isn't going to push his luck.
Yeah, if he gets any more alone time on that it's 45 seconds till the plates are gone. He's not going to get a chance to take it, but it really wouldn't take much for him just to get a bit lower, satchel it, and it go down. But unfortunately, not going to have the window here, and an overstay certainly would have cost him his life, as you see Canyon's position on the map.
Yeah.
So, look, I can't sit here and say I would have made that choice. I would have died there. But, I respect it.
Sometimes it's worth it, but maybe this isn't for Chovy as Peter goes in. Chovy actually still with flash, so never mind. He was absolutely fine the whole time. Oh, okay. Well, there is still a turret here as the minefield goes down. Canyon is definitely dead, and Doctom will be taken out by the Dawning Shadow, but I think he's okay with it. Trading that 1-for-1.
Yeah, good chain around there. Unfortunately, wasn't able to get away from the ult from Ruler, so it's a 1-for-1, but Jungler dead.
All right, another kennel goes down here as Cuz just needed to press out on anyone to try and keep himself healthy, and down he will go. Tempered Fate over the wall, just predicting the flash, because doesn't press the button. And KT kind of dropping the ball in that particular moment.
Bit of a disaster to take down the enemy jungler and then lose out on the dragon. Ruler and Duro just running Cuz down. Unable to get in range of either of them to really get any healing from that Sundered Sky.
Actually gets a flash out from BDD there.
I think was very scared of Keen coming around.
Yeah.
It's one of those moments where you're like, kind of, do I need the flash? Don't need the flash. And in the moment, you're like, I'm just going to flash. I don't want to risk it.
And I think I respect that.
And I feel the regret afterwards. First tower taken by Ziggs, though. Doesn't even need the wave. We'll just launch that satchel
Only 500 gold in it between these two squads. So nothing much at all. And I feel a little bit better for what KT can actually make with this composition later on in the game. It is a little finicky. It is not necessarily like your very standard team fighting composition or anything like that, but they have infinite wave clear and theoretically great split push with this Yorick, as the wall is going to take BDD out of here. And the Mega Cone, because of course it is a Chemtech Soul again. Okay, Keen in so much trouble. The Zenith Blade says that's a dead Ambassador. Chovy now trying to run his way out, and he will be able to do so with the Phase Rush. But still, was all just a bait for that moment.
Maybe
managed to get that kill onto Keen. I don't know whether it's worth it if that is indeed what their plan was from the start. But I'd like to think that that's what it was, because at least then there's a reason. Okay, Duro in a whole host of trouble. Mega Inferno. Okay! Oh, what? Okay, well, Doctom, I guess, can just say goodbye to whoever he'd like.
Yeah, that's Triumph Ziggs.
He's got Shadow Flame. Okay, never mind.
Yeah, he's pumping. He's doing the big boom.
Like, if Ruler is hit by a bouncing bomb and an ult, he is just dead, I think.
Yeah, I mean, they both...
Okay, well, now he just walks up, takes a turret shot, and maybe the Ziggs isn't even going to hit him, as the bouncing bomb is going to go wide, but the Zenith Blade is still going to connect. He places Mega Inferno Bomb! And that is a strike if ever I've seen one, as Doctom will be able to lock it down. Oh dear. Yeah, Ruler used basically everything he could, but not the flash. And I don't even know whether getting to the edge of game performance from the champion, because I think as soon as that happens, people are going to stand up and recognize we're going to start seeing Ziggs bans, because this champion is in a pretty ridiculous spot right now, as down goes the turret. Thus is the way of the Ziggs. And now Gen.G at a turret, and they will be able to get themselves an inroad towards this dragon. Just don't know whether it's necessarily going to allow them to secure it without a fight here. as the Cosmic Binding is so good there from Duro. Peter taking a lot of damage as he does make his way out with that magical journey. Mega Cones to get back to the rest of the team as well, as Canyon makes his way over the wall, is perfect on a flank angle. Ruler taking so much damage, so this Ziggs is a monster, and oh my goodness, that wasn't even the sweet spot, and Ruler is almost dead, but he's not, and gets the piercing darkness out. The Ziggs is still popping off though, as Canyon down so incredibly low, and it is a bloodbath once again in this mid-game as KT take over.
Decimation from KT there. Gen.G not able to challenge the backline, and BDD sliding through the portal to blow them up. Oh, Duro.
Okay, yeah, he is on a magical journey, and he didn't even need to press the button, as there it is, the Mega Cone going to get him out of there. Just bard things, I guess, as KT are on the Arakan. And yeah,
no, I'm excited to see this. Where he's going through again.
All right, there we go. Seismic Shove gonna miss, and so Duro's out of there. There is an inhibited turret that was taken in the mid lane. That happened as well. As we've got pings onto the Ziggs from his own team. They're like, what the heck is going on? As the Ghoulie Wall is just gonna trap Keen in here perpetually. And finally, we are going to see this Arakan go down as the Maiden was helping Cuz. Yeah, Perfect's like, yeah, dude, I do need to ask you now, is this your favorite game of the year so far?
I think it might be.
As, okay, well, the public execution onto Perfect here. He's looking to see whether he can keep himself alive, but he can't. As once again, just going to get picked off Cuz with a casual subjugate, but otherwise not too much going to occur. That wasn't my favorite part of this game.
No,
just watching going a lot more consistent damage than Dr. Arm, who does need
the
to
Realm
throw
Roll, they're
these
going for this.
bouncy bombs around us. There it is. Yeah, everyone piling on top of this Baron. It's immediately spotted out there by KT as they need to get their Trundle over here. Peter is clearing out some vision as Perfect can get that Ghoulie Wall in to try and stop this. Canyon's out of the pit already, looking for a flank angle as they do peel away. And Perfect does spot out Canyon there with that Morning Mist. In goes Peter, actually. Mega Inferno Bomb just misses everything entirely. And Peter does have to try and get out of there, but he's not going to be able to. And look at the sad Satchel. Just explodes without doing anything. And Peter's life is for naught.
Yeah, I mean, Gen.G make the right call to peel. Voidstaff did just come in for Chovy, though. They are setting up around that dragon.
Yep, Kennel goes down. Chovy able to walk around it as Perfect is making his way in. 50% health on the Drake. The KT are looking for the fight. Tempered Fate does absolutely nothing, as there is a Drake secured for Gen.G. That is Soul Point available, but can they keep themselves alive and find the team fight? Mega Inferno Bomb onto 3 is gigantic. Flash out from Canyon Keen, now being that Soul frontline. And Gen.G just holding them at bay, and the catch onto Perfect is too good. And Gen.G are able to eviscerate him. Now it's Canyon that makes his way forward. It's ambitious, but it's working. Chovy taking a lot of damage, but dishing out way more. It's a double kill as the Ziggs goes down. And out goes BDD as the last man standing.
Once again, KT in control, but they fumble it in a critical team fight. BDD looking for a pick. The flash in!
Oh my goodness, Chovy just getting on top of him here as BDD really wants to thread the volley. That looked a little bit like tilt as he goes down, and the ace is completed for Gen.G.
Baron going to be the reward as well. Most KT you can ever imagine. It's just, they're always KT.
They really are. A bit fiendish as well as BDD, as we can see in the inventory, as in goes Canyon, looks for that backline as they're looking to just execute Doctarm, but that's a great satchel still. It's a trade of a buy for a Doctarm, and Doctarm was so much more important. Ruler is still standing here as Cuz just walking away. Ruler deals with the turret, and Gen.G, I think they have just found their window to take over this game completely.
Gonna be able to push up mid here with the Baron as well. Not really enough wave clear from these two to do much against them. The two melee champions cannot step up against this 4-man from Gen.G. The CC would just mean insta-death. They'll take this mid inhibitor, probably back off after this, but the lead now. We saw so much of this game defined by a 2,000 soul. I'm not even sure if KT can contest this. They are moving roughly in the direction of it, but I think they're just gonna back away.
Might be able to try and throw a Mega Inferno Bomb in if you do manage to cheat some vision of the area, as KT are at least going to be able to slink their way over. And so Peter looking for an engage angle. Xenoblade does bring him in. It's the Bard that actually locks this one down, as there is Canyon finding his way in. Tempered Fate to allow them to reposition. Canyon survives somehow! And Gen.G with the Chemtech Soul! And they were now able to march into the enemy base, and once again it is just BDD left alive. That was illegal, Canyon. Like, why is he still alive?
Saved by his team, the support's there from Gen.G and KT, not as close as the last one, but 2 games where they were in a winning position, a commanding position, but unable to close it out. Gen.G unrelenting, it feels like, in KT. A lot of hopes, unfortunately, dashed in this series.
Oh, man. And we thought that it was a sad one last time around for KT, but that was sad because it looked like there was no hope. And the problem with this one is it looked like there was hope until it was absolutely gone. Peter goes in once again because he needs to try desperately to do something. PDD does the same thing, but the Nexus is still going to reach the same fate. Gen.G, a 2-0 over KT that could have just as